Rise and shine, everyone. It is 7:30 on your Thursday morning, May the 23rd, and it is time to learn some more about Gadsden State. Every Thursday, we get to talk about Gadsden State, and I am learning so much, as I know our viewers are as well. So if you know someone who is interested in Gadsden State or furthering a career, please share this link with them. You can find it on Facebook or YouTube. You can also download it on our app, WEAC TV 24, where you can live stream for free 24/7. All right, well, this morning we're going to be talking all about Emergency Medical Services Program, and I hear it's the perfect time to do so. So I have John Hollingsworth with me and Brian Selke. And so John is the director of the Emergency Medical Service Program,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Brian is an EMS instructor. So welcome, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning. We're doing well. Thank you for having us.
Good. Thanks for starting your day off with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, John, when you came in, you said it's the perfect time to do so because this is an important week. And tell us about that.
It is. This week is National Emergency Medical Services Week. And this week, every year, we celebrate all the emergency medical services providers across the nation. Most of the local services and departments get together and have a meal together, and each day this week is themed with a different aspect or character of the profession so that we can all review and celebrate together.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. And it should be celebrated. That's something so super important because we often need these services, and really every day there is someone who is needing emergency medical services.
Absolutely. We provide a lot of different services to the community, from special events to, of course, as everybody knows, 911 response. There are EMS professionals embedded into just about every aspect of the community: police departments, fire departments, ambulance services, health clinics, hospitals. EMS really covers the entire gambit of healthcare now.
It does. Well, let's talk about the overall program. So there are a few options in the program. So tell us a little bit about what can be offered.
Well, the Emergency Medical Services Program at Gadsden State is designed to have what we call stacked credentials. So you can get a job in as little as one semester as an EMT, see if you like it, and if so, you can progress throughout all the way up to an associate's degree in EMS. And then if you go beyond that, there are bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and it goes all the way up the scale. But most people don't realize EMS is a very high demand profession. So we have a lot of people that have never been in the healthcare field before. They'll come in, get their EMT training, their emergency medical technician training, in one semester. And in that, they can do just the basic first aid. They can do a few advanced skills, and they can care for people in their community. Our job demand is so high right now. Just about every student that comes into the program and is successful has a job before they get out.
Wow. And that was really impressive. I think we have a graph on that as well, because when I was reading through this, 100% job placement for the students, and that is incredible. Not often do you see that being the case. And so when people are out saying, oh, well, there's not any jobs out there, well, yes, there are. And there are plenty more to be filled as well.
There's another statistic that's out there right now that we're using some research on, that over the last 3 years, the amount of people that are supposed to recertify, over 30% have not. So that means about 30% of our job force has left the industry. So we're trying to backfill those vacancies, and that's one reason. As soon as we get someone out of the program and certified, they want to go to work, they can go to work.
They can go to work.
Absolutely. A lot of our people in the profession like to start with EMT. They'll do EMS for, what would you say, 6 to 7 years, and then they will step up to a different career, maybe nursing, maybe PA school, maybe medical school. So we kind of have a nice stepping stone effect with the other healthcare professions.
That's great. You get that on training and are able to advance the career.
Absolutely.
And it's such a great starting point too.
So we do, our first semester is EMT, where you can get a job really quickly, see if you like the profession. If not, it's a really good certification to have
Yeah.
for any other job that you might want to apply for. If they see that EMT, on your resume, they're going to be more apt to feel safe around you.
Yeah.
Then if you want to come back and do another semester, we call that the advanced EMT semester, and it gives you skills like IV access, some additional meds, some additional EKG training and things like that that comes along with it. And if you really like it after that, there's 3 semesters of paramedic that you can take. So the program in total is 5 semesters, and you can be a licensed paramedic in the state of Alabama.
That's really a short amount of time.
It is. It is. That's something about EMS. We have an advanced skill set that a lot of healthcare providers don't have, but the reason we have it is because without it, people would die.
Yeah.
Because people don't come out of the hospitals, the doctors won't come out of the hospitals to the wreck scenes and things like that. It's our job to bridge the gap. So that's why we get the responsibility, so to speak, that we have in the field.
And it is a very large responsibility because, like you said, it's someone's life that is at
Absolutely.
risk. That's the goal, is to save lives.
It certainly is. It's an adrenaline-filled profession. However, those times of adrenaline and serious calls and things come few and far between. So what I like to teach our students is that they're really trying to reduce suffering. So you may go into a nursing home and see a patient, and you're her only outside contact for the day. So your attitude determines what kind of day she's going to have. So we spend a lot of our time just improving people's lives, and then every now and then we get to run the lights and the sirens and go out and respond to 911 calls.
Yeah, I never even thought about it like that. Sometimes you are the only person that someone comes in contact with.
That's true.
Do you do a lot of training with that, like just with personal skills and
A lot
bedside
of that,
manner?
yes. A lot of interpersonal communication skills, a lot of open-ended conversations and things like that. We learn how to get the data we need out of patients without just being abrupt and rude and cutting people off. So it's a skill that they have to develop, let's put it that way.
And that's great. That's a great life skill to have. And you mentioned even with EMT, that's a great life skill to have as well. Like if you have something happening at home or with your family and you're equipped to handle it.
Absolutely.
Because people hurt themselves all the time in small ways and in large ways. So if you can handle, that little thing that happens, then that's a great life skill to have. So even though it's a short program, you cover a lot in a short amount of time.
We do. It's challenging. One of the first things that we have to relay to our students is how to study, how to think critically, and how to time manage. So time management is a very important skill to have as an EMS provider, and it helps them not only to excel in school, but to excel in the profession.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of schools, Brian, you work really closely with schools in this as well. So you have a program that...
Yes, so not only as an advanced level instructor, we're getting back to our dual enrollment program this year. We did a pilot program a year ago. Nothing happened this current school year, but this coming fall, we're going to be launching in both Calhoun County and Etowah County. So we're going to be bringing kids from the different high schools in both counties. Here in Calhoun County, they're going to go to the Regional Fire Training Center up in Anniston. In Etowah County, they will come to Helderman Hall, to our building, 5 days a week. So we'll run a morning session and an afternoon session, so they can come one or the other, depending on what their class schedule is. A lot of the band kids and football kids want to come to the morning session, so the afternoon they can make practice. But they'll come to our college for or our training center for about 2 hours in the morning or 2 hours in the afternoon. They'll get, in that 2 hour period, they'll probably get an hour and 15 minutes of lecture time. And the remainder of the time, they're going to be doing hands-on skills. They'll basically get the entire EMT program over the course of the fall and spring semester that the regular college students get over just one semester. So we're spreading it out a little bit, taking in mind the different learning styles of high school kids versus college kids, scheduling things so that it's a good learning environment for the high school students. They're going to be challenged because over the course of those 2 semesters, they will end up going out on ambulances and running live calls with medic crews and getting their hands on. Not all the people that take the program are going to be ones that want to go ahead and get into the career, but they're kind of sticking their toe in the water to see how they like it. Some of those kids, if they want to do it, by the time they get to the end of their senior year and they're turning 18, if they want to go ahead and challenge registry and take that test, I've told them all, I said, if you complete the program and take the registry test, you can have a job. And those ones that want to go on and do fire or want to do on something else, if they've got that EMT certification, like John previously said, it's only going to help them in other career fields.
How great is that to be able to explore that opportunity while you're still in high school and then be ready for a job right out of high school?
It really is. We did a pilot program, what was it, 2 years ago?
Well, not this year, but the year before, yeah, so 2
Year
years.
before. And we had a 100% pass rate.
Wow, even with the high school too.
Absolutely. They really enjoyed the spread out curriculum and the hands-on skills. So a lot of them are employable right out of high school. So they can go into the fire service, take a bridge course, and they can be readily employable by any of the fire services or ambulance services.
Wow, start that career off so young.
We had one of the kids in our last, was it the last advanced class or the one before, that was one of the high school kids from 2 years ago. So he's already stayed in the industry and come on to an advanced level class.
Wow, and they get to do clinical rotations in emergency rooms and in hospitals?
The dual enrollment kids are not going to go into the ERs this coming year. There's a lot of extra things we have to do to get them into the ERs with shots and tests and that kind of stuff. So they're going to do all their rotations this coming program. They're going to do on the ambulances instead of the ERs, but they'll get a lot of hands-on experience running calls on live ambulances.
Yeah, they will. And we're going to have to talk about the ambulance because there's some exciting things happening with Gadsden State with an ambulance as well. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about that ambulance. So that's really exciting. All right, well, stay tuned. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upward Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
More than 2.5 million youths admitted to vaping according to data from the CDC. Teens are at a greater risk for nicotine addiction because their brains are still developing. Please talk to your children about vaping.
Although we may see things differently,
the message can still reach me.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Larry May. I've been in the entertainment business for over 25 years. I've written for the local paper. I've interviewed a lot of touring artists and local artists here. And what I figured out is how much talent we have here in Alabama. That's why we put a new show together for you called Entertainment Alabama. Come watch us for the hottest new acts and some of your favorites that are national touring artists.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive.
I'm Lacey Plantz with your TV 24 News Update. Selma, Alabama native Asher Havan was named the winner of the 25th season of The Voice. Havan is the first contestant from Alabama to ever win in the 13 years that the show has ran. During a promotional video for his time on The Voice, he gave credit to his Selma upbringing. In the video, he stated, "I would not be here without Selma. Selma has given me a foundation that I don't believe I would have gotten anywhere else. The people that are in Selma understand what it means to come from small beginnings and face the world. She's a beautiful example on how to handle adversity gracefully and rise above it and still stand. And as an artist, every time I stand on stage, I just feel like the strength that Selma has taught me always shows up and will catapult me forward." Havan was on Reba McEntire's team, and his win gave the fancy artist her very first win as a coach on the show. The Oxford Aquatic Center will open for the 2024 season starting this upcoming Monday, May 27th. They offer so many fun things to do here. There's a zero-depth activity pool with a kiddie area, an aquatic play structure with slides, a family slide, a lazy river, basketball hoops, a large open flume slide, a completely separate 8-lane competition pool, and diving boards. Hours of operation are 12 to 7 on Monday through Friday, 11 to 6 on Saturdays, and 12 to 5 on Sundays. For more information, visit cityofoxford.org/OPRD. For more information on these stories and more, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Krantz.
Welcome back and rise and shine. It is 7:48 on your Thursday morning, May the 23rd. Goodness, how this month has passed, and we want to thank you for starting your day off with us every weekday morning. So on Thursdays, we get to explore all of the cool things going on at Gadsden State, and this morning we are talking about emergency medical service programs. So I have with me John Hollingsworth, he is the director there, and Brian Selke, he is one of the instructors. And so when we went to break, I said we were going to talk about the ambulance, and we are definitely going to get to that, but I have a few more questions, especially for Brian on the high school program, because this is really, I mean, all of it is really cool, but also having that opportunity for these high school kids to start a career off at a very young age, but I'm sure it comes with some challenges as well for you as an instructor. What kind of challenges have you faced teaching high school students compared to the traditional college student?
Well, first of all, teaching somebody that's a junior or a senior is a whole lot different than teaching somebody that's a college or freshman or sophomore.
Right.
Their priorities are a little different. You get those senior students, and sometimes they're more worried about graduation than they are getting all the work done.
Sure.
So this program's been pretty interesting as we've built it. I've gone around and I can't think of how many visits that I've made to all the individual high schools and got to sit down in the gym or in the cafeterias with a room full of juniors or a room full of juniors and seniors, and basically just talk about our program. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what we do in both counties runs in conjunction with the fire science programs. So like here in Calhoun County, they do fire science as a junior and do EMS as a senior. So by the time they come out the end of the senior year, they can go work at the fire department or the EMS or both. So that's one of the programs. But just dealing with the high school kids, getting them to knuckle down, because there's a lot of work and a lot of stuff. We kind of already talked about.
Sure.
The seriousness of the stuff that we, the skills that we do and what we're doing is life-saving. Mm-hmm. So get them to knuckle down and study is pretty important, because there's a lot of stuff they've got to absorb in a short amount of time. And was one reason why we've stretched it out over the 2 semesters instead of just the 1.
Right.
John mentioned it earlier, critical thinking. It's hard to teach someone critical thinking. You've got to get them into the mindset that, hey, I've got this skill, and this skill, and then when this happens, I can draw from this knowledge base to take care of that cardiac arrest or take care of that breathing problem. So to get them to critical think and take the knowledge that they've absorbed in their brain and put it to work and implement it with their hands, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
And not every kid adjusts to that as well as some others. And some take it to it like fish and water, but some it's a little struggle sometimes.
And you see that and you're like, yep, you're here and you're meant to be here. Now there's a shortage, right? In Calhoun County especially, in EMS.
Every EMS provider that I know of is struggling to maintain people, because some of the higher levels, the medics and stuff, they want to bridge out and go to nursing, or they want to go to flight medic and that kind of stuff. But just getting people to stay in the industry. COVID hurt us, like a lot of industries. COVID hurt us. A lot of people get into it for a few years and decide, no, this is not what I want to do. And so, yeah, anybody that completes the training and gets the national certification, gets the certification from NREMT and then the state license, can go to work.
So the National Registry exam, is that the one that you're talking about?
Yes, everybody, all 3 levels, EMT, advanced, and paramedic, once they complete the course, they have to take this National Registry NREMT exam. And it's not easy. No. You got to study for it. You got to be test prep for it and be ready. And then that gives you that national certification, which allows you to apply for and get your state license.
Mm-hmm. How do you prepare the kids for that?
Test prep, test prep, test prep.
Okay.
We have a lot of. We use a PSG Learning or JV Learning. It's part of our textbook, and there's a test prep app, the online portion, the electronic portion. I think for my advanced EMTs, there's 379 practice questions on there. Wow. For the medics, there's almost 700 questions, I believe. So they can go on and take those prep questions. And we do a lot of that as, through the course of the year. They're getting knowledge-based tests all the way through the year, and they're cumulative. So what we test you on at the beginning of the year, you can see in test 3, 4, 5, 6, they build. So by the time they get to that final test, we're testing them on stuff they've learned through the whole year. So they're not just, trying to learn about airway and then forgetting it till the end of the year. We continuously test them on knowledge items that they've learned from beginning to end.
That's good, because they need to know all of it, and you can't just forget what you're getting tested on.
It is. It's a difficult program, but it has the proper support mechanisms in place. So we spread it out. We focus on different modules at a time. And like I say, the National Registry test is a difficult test, but I think at the end, most of our students are well prepared for it. Of course, having the skill set that we have, there is tedious, rigorous testing that has to be done. But what we do is we use a combination of in-class, what we call didactic curriculum that helps them develop the knowledge. Then we go to the lab and we practice. So in the labs where we fail, we want them to mess up. We want to correct what they mess up on. And then once they perfect their skills in the lab and they've perfected their knowledge base in the classroom, we move into the real world clinical training. So we start out letting them interact with patients and communicate, and then they slowly move into assisting other providers. And at the end, they're solely responsible for taking care of the patients in the hospitals and on the ambulances.
Yeah, that's great, having that experience. And we definitely have to get into that, because there's the simulator labs, and then those are really cool. When you were considering designing this program, what were some of the key considerations in designing that?
Well, for us, we like to make sure that we're training on what they'll be using in the field. So the different patient encounters that they will have are the most common patient encounters that they'll have. The equipment that they're actually going to be using on the ambulance, the medications that they'll actually have on the ambulance. And we like to make our lab training just as real as we possibly can for them, to prep them for when they're actually out there taking care of patients.
Yeah.
So we want them to use the lab and the classroom to get their practice in and get good at their skills. And then when they get out in the field, we want that to just be reinforced throughout the school. But yes, we have a lot of challenges in training all the students in the lab at the same time. For instance, our upcoming paramedic class has 35 students in it.
Oh wow!
And we have a lab that it would probably be pretty cramped to have 35 students in there.
If we take them all in there at the same time, they're going to be cramped.
So we have to schedule them specific times to come in with an instructor and have one-on-one training. We also have access to Gadsden State's cadaver lab.
Oh yeah, I've been in there.
So what we do is we have the books that train them what the body looks like and how everything works. But then when they get out in the field, they realize, well, arteries aren't all red and veins aren't all blue and things aren't just perfectly drawn and colored. So we take them to the cadaver lab. We show them what the true human anatomy looks like. And we actually do practice skills on the cadavers. So some of the more invasive skills that we do out in the field, if we can't get an IV access, we'll actually drill a hole in some of their bones and access their bone marrow. And we can administer medications that way. So those are some good skills to train in the cadaver lab.
Yeah. Could you tell that I would never be able to go through? I get a little queasy. No, I'm so glad that there are people who can.
Oh yeah. Gadsden State is the only 2-year college that has its own on-site cadaver lab. So we utilize it quite often. Yeah. It's been a blessing to have it.
I did get to visit, and I really enjoyed visiting. I went into the lab. I was in a leadership class, and so we were invited to go visit. And that is, it's an amazing space. I mean, that is truly like to have that in Gadsden. We are so blessed to have that right there.
We have Mr. Philip Snyder that is our lab coordinator over there, and he hosts tours for the students. He supervises some of our continuing education classes.
We were in his lab last week with the tactical medic class.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we get to do a lot of good training with them. And like I say, that just leads to the fact that when they get out into the field, this won't be the first time that they've actually done it on a human being.
Yeah.
And they could actually do the skill a lot better, or at least cope with it a lot better.
There's a lot of comfort on both ends for the patient and for the student to know that that's not the first time that they're going to be putting that to practice on an actual.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so before we move on, because we have so much more to talk about, I do want to talk about in the EMS with the high school program, there are 15 spots available. Is that in Etowah County and in Calhoun County?
So we've got 15 spots available in Calhoun County and 15 additional spots available in Etowah County. Because of that, and I'd have to go back and look, we've got 30 something that have applied in both counties. Okay. They are going to have a 2.5 GPA.
Okay.
They are going to have a letter of recommendation from either their principal or their counselor, because we need to know that they've got an academic work ethic that they're going to put into this program. The college is basically providing scholarships for these programs, so there's going to be minimal expense for each student. They'll have to get a background check and a drug screen, and that's really the only thing they're going to have to pay for. Everything else the college is providing. Wow. But by putting that GPA requirement, that recommendation from their individual high schools, I think there's one homeschool kid on the list. So out of those 30-something people, we'll narrow those two fields down and have, ideas have 15 in each. And go from there. But yeah, it's going to be a good program.
Yeah, and that's really important because if you have a limited spot available, you want to know that student is completely prepared and committed to that program, so you don't give the spot to someone who may not continue. Absolutely. So that's great. Almost free. You can't.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have so many more things to talk about, so stay tuned. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24. Let's go hear a word from some of our sponsors and check in with your local news and weather. We'll be right back.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Family Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gadsden or Oxford.
All right. A little more about academics. Parents, do you want to secure a bright future for young people? We have science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Get your kids involved with Academic STEM kits. Go to www.academics.com to order your STEM kits. It's going to be STEM-tastic.
Like science is for you. Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. Selma, Alabama native Asher Havon was named the winner of the 25th season of The Voice. Havon is the first contestant from Alabama to ever win in the 13 years that the show has ran. During a promotional video for his time on The Voice, he gave credit to his Selma upbringing. In the video, he stated, "I would not be here without Selma. Selma has given me a foundation that I don't believe I would have gotten anywhere else. The people that are in Selma understand what it means to come from small beginnings and face the world. She's a beautiful example on how to handle adversity gracefully and rise above it and still stand. And as an artist, every time I stand on stage, I just feel like the strength that Selma has taught me always shows up and will catapult me forward." Havon was on Reba McEntire's team, and his win gave the fancy artist her very first win as a coach on the show. The Oxford Aquatic Center will open for the 2024 season starting this upcoming Monday, May 27th. They offer so many fun things to do here. There's a zero-depth activity pool with a kiddie area, an aquatic play structure with slides, a family slide, a lazy river, basketball hoops, a large open flume slide, a completely separate 8-lane competition pool, and diving boards. Hours of operation are 12 to 7 on Monday through Friday, 11 to 6 on Saturdays, and 12 to 5 on Sundays. For more information, visit cityofoxford.org/OPRD. For more information on these stories and more, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Welcome back and rise and shine. It is 8:05 on your Thursday morning, May the 23rd, and we are talking all about the Emergency Medical Service Program and the perfect week to do that, right? So John and Brian are here with us, with Gadsden State, of course. We have a video we're going to show you, so let's go check that out.
Gadsden State's EMS program and Anniston Fire Department's Fire Science program have joined forces with Calhoun County Schools to provide education to 12th grade students who are looking to have a certification and be ready to work when they graduate.
This is a unique opportunity for any high schooler to take, in that, this is a stepping stone for emergency management, whether it be police, fire, EMS. You can go into healthcare for associates or bachelors. So for a high schooler to take, this is awesome. I'm very thankful for the opportunity I was given by Gadsden State.
I chose to become part of the Fire Science program because I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to help my community and also maybe have a career in it. The best thing about this program is it's hands-on, so there's a lot of stuff doing. You're not just sitting in the classroom all day reading a book.
I think my instructors are very, very experienced. I definitely would trust them to, save my life if I were in an emergency, and I would trust them to teach me the skills that I need to know. I've gotten nothing but good advice and good things to say about them.
I chose to be a part of this program because ever since I was a little kid, I have always had the thoughts of being a firefighter. And since I have an early chance, I decided to take it. After I graduate high school, I'm going to Gadsden State Community College to get certified as an EMT, but I will also stay here and finish the bridge.
So the bridge program is where we take the certified volunteer firefighter 160 and bridge into the career side of the firefighter 1 and 2. The students would come here for 5 weeks and get the training for the firefighter 2 stuff and expand on what they learned in the 160. And then at the end of that, they will have the certification to be able to go to 48 of 50 states and ready to go to work on a truck somewhere.
The job outlook for EMS and fire science is really good over the next 20 years. I have 100% placement in EMS, and the fire science program also has 100% placement. Our jobs are in such high demand that people are competing just to get our students as they graduate.
The biggest benefit for this recruit school and the high school program is that they can get into a full-time paying job within a month after they've graduated high school. 3 characteristics for a student to be successful in this program and be looking at why they would want to come into this program would be a person of good character. That's top notch. Second would be good grades, because there's certain tests you have to take to pass, and good attendance, because you can't miss half the class and expect to pass the class. And third would be a willingness and a good heart to want to help people. That's what this job is all about, saving lives, helping people, and making our community better.
Well, that's so neat. We got to see firsthand and some of the training and get to hear from some of the students and also get to see that simulator a little bit. So tell us about the importance of the relationship with that training facility.
We've partnered up with Anniston Fire Department and the Anniston Regional Training Center to run the dual enrollment program side by side with their fire science program. They have that new facility that has just been a blessing to all of our students. It gives them a large area to practice in. We've actually moved some of our equipment and resources in over there at the training center to help with the EMS program. One of those pieces of equipment is one of our ambulance simulators. It is basically the entire back section of an ambulance. It just doesn't drive, so it's stationary, and it gives them the ability to train in real time. It is loaded with cameras and a DVR, so every time we have a patient encounter or a simulated patient encounter, we can record it, and then we can review it in front of the class and constructively, of course, critique everyone's performance. But the Anniston Fire Department has kind of partnered up with us, and we help provide them the EMS training. They help provide us with the facilities and with assistance with some of the other EMS courses that we teach over there. So we've had a really good relationship. And they started their fire science program several years, I think 7 years prior to us starting the EMS dual enrollment program. So we gleaned a lot of good information and best practices from them. So every year we all get together and have what's called a debrief or a hot wash. It's basically just a meeting where we talk about the things that went well, the things that we can improve on, and every year since then all of our programs have just done nothing but improve.
Wow, what a great partnership. It makes sense because ultimately many of the students who go through your programs will, stay right here in the community and go to work for Calhoun or Etowah or one of the surrounding communities there.
Absolutely.
All right, well now we've also talked about an ambulance, and I know you have the stationary simulator, but you also now have a true ambulance.
We do. We were lucky enough to get a donation from AMED Ambulance in Etowah County. They donated us a 2015 Type 1 ambulance, which is basically a truck with a box on the back of it. It's not brand new, but it is a very nice ambulance that we're going to be able to use for driver training. We teach a course called Emergency Vehicle Operator, and it is where we actually teach our students, on top of the medical curriculum that we teach, to operate an emergency vehicle in traffic, which is desperately needed. How to approach an intersection, how to go around cars on the proper side, how to show due regard. And it's a big part of that class to actually run a driving training range. So we set up different obstacles and different stations, and they have to learn how to back the truck. They have to learn how to maneuver in emergency conditions and show due regard. So it's a blessing to actually have a true ambulance to do that and not have to borrow one from the surrounding facilities. We've also secured a grant in health sciences to purchase a new ambulance. Unfortunately, new ambulances take about 2 years to build. So we have this great donation that's going to help us bridge the gap there. And then once we get the new one, we'll actually have a fleet of 2 ambulances that we can kind of spread out between Calhoun and Etowah counties to help train everyone in that situation.
That's wonderful. Now I know you're training the driver, but let's give a word of advice to the drivers of the other vehicles when you see an ambulance approaching with the lights on. Tell everyone what they should do, John.
Absolutely. You should pull as far to the right as you can safely and stop if you see an emergency vehicle. Yes. A lot of people slam on their brakes. A lot of people swerve a couple of times and pull to the left, but if you see an emergency vehicle of any kind approaching you from behind, you should simply pull as far to the right as you can safely and stop. And we will go around you on the left. That is the way that we train everyone. So it's the safest way to get through traffic if there's an emergency.
Yes, because if there is an emergency, we all need to do our part, because the emergency medical services are ready to do their part, but we also have to do so. So you see that a lot, an ambulance approaching and people not either not moving out of the way, or like you said, going to the other side, or getting nervous and slamming on the brakes. But those seconds are so important.
They are sometimes, yes. We activate our lights and sirens to respond to emergencies only. If we're in traffic, we're trying to get somewhere quickly and safely. So like I say, the best thing that you can do is pull over to the right and stop. If you can't pull over, then simply just stay where you are and we'll go around you eventually. All of our drivers are trained not to sit behind you and hit the siren and hit the horn. If you can't go anywhere, they will simply cut their siren off. They'll wait behind you, probably with their lights on, and then when the light changes or when the road clears, they'll proceed on about their way. So there's no need to panic, no need to cause another wreck that somebody needs to respond to.
Absolutely.
Well, what feedback have you received from students with the use of the ambulance?
We have not put it in service quite yet, but we do utilize some of the services surrounding us to give ambulance training, and they all absolutely love it.
Yeah, so. Well, we've got some more to talk about. I feel like we could go in another hour talking about. I did my homework and I've really enjoyed learning more about this. But we have some more things to talk about. But stay tuned. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Welcome to Hot Properties. Today we're going to dive into the exciting world of real estate with Copperleaf Properties.
And I did and absolutely loved it. So actually this month is 8 years now.
For the last 16 years I've been in sales.
One that persuaded her into starting Copperleaf.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've been working in the Etowah County area now as a realtor since 2002.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
May not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 23-24 Silverado light duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox. 24 models. You got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upper Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. Selma, Alabama native Asher Havon was named the winner of the 25th season of The Voice. Havon is the first contestant from Alabama to ever win in the 13 years that the show has ran. During a promotional video for his time on The Voice, he gave credit to his Selma upbringing. In the video, he stated, "I would not be here without Selma. Selma has given me a foundation that I don't believe I would have gotten anywhere else. The people that are in Selma understand what it means to come from small beginnings and face the world. She's a beautiful example on how to handle adversity gracefully and rise above it and still stand. And as an artist, every time I stand on stage, I just feel like the strength that Selma has taught me always shows up and will catapult me forward." Havon was on Reba McEntire's team, and his win gave the fancy artist her very first win as a coach on the show. The Oxford Aquatic Center will open for the 2024 season starting this upcoming Monday, May 27th. They offer so many fun things to do here. There's a zero-depth activity pool with a kiddie area, an aquatic play structure with slides, a family slide, a lazy river, basketball hoops, a large open flume slide, a completely separate 8-lane competition pool, and diving boards. Hours of operation are 12 to 7 on Monday through Friday, 11 to 6 on Saturdays, and 12 to 5 on Sundays. For more information, visit cityofoxford.org/OPRD. For more information on these stories and more, plus weather with Justin Deal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine. It is 8:21 on your Thursday morning, May the 23rd. And so we have John Hollingsworth with us and Brian Selke. They are with the EMS program. John is the director there, and Brian is one of the EMS instructors, or the EMS instructor.
No,
I don't know.
One more.
One more. Okay, so there's Tracy. Yes, and she was pictured in she was pictured in the ambulance photo.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've talked about simulators and the program, the high school program. Also, I want to recognize it is National EMS Week. So we want to thank you so much to all of you who dedicate your lives to everyone, because that is what it is to be an EMS, that you are a servant of your community.
Absolutely.
And ensuring that everyone gets proper attention to health care and quickly. Is that about it?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Just as quick as we can.
And it's also Mental Health Awareness Month, and so
Yes.
we want to make sure to mention that. That's very important. And now, Brian, are there other programs that we need to talk about this morning?
besides just the EMT, advanced EMT and paramedic program, Gadsden State we're trying to broaden our horizons a little bit. So we started, I think, matter of fact, last week we did our 6th tactical paramedic class. And there is a thing called IBSC, International Board of Specialty Certifications, and they're the ones that certify flight medics and critical care medics and tactical medics. So Dr. Page, who's he's the medical director for Etowah County Sheriff's Department, we got together about 3 years ago, and we've held 6 classes now. We had number 6 last week. We bring paramedics in from around the state. We had some guys from Phoenix City last week, some people from Tuscaloosa, so we're drawing people in from around the state, and we basically run them through a tactical paramedic course. We use the Etowah County Joint Special Operation Group. Those guys help us from the sheriffs and the police department up there, and we teach people how to prepare to take that certification test and give them some introduction into tactical movement and care under fire. And we have several people that are graduates from our class that are currently working on SWAT teams or special operations teams in Calhoun County, Etowah County, Blount County. So it's a growing program. And it's last week was really interesting because we were split about 50-50 medics and police officers, because we had some police officers that came in to want to learn a little bit more about, what do we do if we're in a gunfight. And that was cool. Starting actually next week now, we're going to be running our trial program for what's called critical care medic. It's another IBSC certification, and these are the people that do some of the longer distance transfers with patients that are on vents or a lot of medications, or we're going from here to, say, Atlanta with specialized trucks and specialized equipment and other medications. So we're going to be launching that critical care program over the summer semester, and we're going to teach it every Wednesday over the summer. So instead of teaching just one 2-week-long class, we're breaking it down over the summer. Helps a little bit with some of our local agencies with scheduling. If hey, Wednesday this person's got to be off, other than they got to be off for 2 straight weeks. This is, like I said, it's our trial program. The first time we're doing critical care. We're bringing subject matter experts in from around the area to help teach the different blocks. And that's we've got, I think the last time we've got 10 or 11 already signed up for that. We're signed up before the break, so we got to check and find out what we got going now. So I'm pretty excited about that program. We also are a AHA training center. So we do a lot of CPR, advanced cardiac life support, pediatric life support training for different fire departments, different agencies within the college. We have launched a program at Gadsden State where we are teaching or certifying every employee of Gadsden State in CPR, AED, and use of Narcan. Matter of fact, we got some checkoffs going with instructors and staff today. So by the time that's done, we will be an AHA safe campus.
A heart safe campus.
Heart safe campus is the term. We're going to be
calling it.
So we've got the tactical medic program, we've got the critical care program, we've got the AHA site, and then we mentioned earlier that this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is kind of my baby. This is kind of what I've worked with my bachelor's program and my master's program, mental health for first responders. And this is something that we haven't looked at as an industry the way it should be. A lot of times we got your big burly firemen and your big medics and your big police officers. We don't talk about our feelings, hey, just drive on. And we end up with a pretty high suicide rate, a pretty high people leaving the industry. So I've been fortunate enough to be involved in several programs. I am the state coordinator north for the Alabama Law Enforcement Alliance for Peer Support, and that's a law enforcement side, but we've got law enforcement, dispatch, corrections, and EMA involved in that, which has helped me move into the EMS side with it and dealing with our crews. I get different agencies that'll call me, they've had a bad call, or I was working with some people the other day that had a teen suicide, and that's tough. Because as first responders, whether it be fire, EMS, law enforcement, or even the dispatchers, because they listen to it all over their headsets, we see things that the average public does not. We deal with things that the average people don't. And any reaction that we have is going to be a normal reaction to a very abnormal situation. So we've taken the initiative at Gadsden State that if you come to our program, and if you do all 5 semesters, EMT, advanced, and paramedic, you're going to see me 3 different times. I'm going to come in for about an hour each class and talk to you about the things that can affect you emotionally, cognitively, things that'll bother you. And then we're going to give you some tools for your toolbox on ways to counteract those things. Best thing's finding a hobby that has nothing to do with work. That's great.
Yeah.
Having some kind of talking to someone, peer to peer, because who's going to understand what you're going through than somebody that's maybe has a little gray beard, but has been through it once or twice. I've been doing this in one form or fashion since 1990. I got about 34 years, being involved in EMS, and 40 in public service. So I've seen a few things. So if if I've been there and I've experienced them and I understand what you're going through, it just makes it so much easier for me to sit down peer to peer and talk to somebody and help them. I'm not a counselor. I'm not fixing them, but I'm just sitting there talking to them about the things that they're struggling with and giving them some coping mechanisms and some skills to drive on and stay, productive members of the industry.
I think that's
so
great.
That's a big thing.
It is.
If you can't tell mental health, and first responder mental health, that's my thing. I mean, I'm starting my master's at South Alabama, and that's going to be my one variation of my thesis one way or another. So.
Yeah, it's so needed because we're all human,
That's the
you know,
truth.
and so we have those human emotions and how to deal with them. And like you said, the tools for your toolbox, the tools that it takes, and to have somebody who will listen and who can just be there for you. And so that's great. Well, best wishes on all that, and that's so needed.
And doing these programs, the tactical medic, the critical care, the AHA, and the mental health stuff, it branches us out at Gadsden State. We're not just teaching, the core courses. It gives us some other things. It makes the industry stronger. It educates, our stakeholders, the people that we're training. Agents, different departments love to send things to us because we're not just doing the same stuff. We're branching out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a big part of EMS as well. Once you get your initial licensure and certification, every 2 years you have to have at least 60 hours of additional training.
Oh, wow. Good.
So not only do you get your initial training and you go out and you work, you have to continuously train. And including things like mental health and maybe some of the critical care and tactical stuff keeps things interesting and gives us, like you say, the tools to help make the profession better.
Yeah, well, thanks for all you do. I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you. The website, of course, gadstonstate.edu, is super easy to navigate. You can search for the emergency medical services, and as you see here, there's all sorts of information there that you can scroll through. You can read about the program. You can also see the application requirements as well as the curriculum. There's, of course, that great FAQ, the frequently asked questions that you have there. What all does it entail? The tuition program, you can apply there. See if you're eligible for all the many scholarship opportunities. There's also contact information there. So make sure that you check out that website. So if you're interested, John's contact is right there as well. The program director, you can email him or call him with any questions. I know that y'all are ready to hear from questions from people who are interested in the opportunity, and so make sure you check out that website there if you're interested. So, well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you and all that you do. And please come back and visit more because, I still have like 4 pages of notes we didn't get to. So we're going to have you back on if that's okay.
Absolutely. We'd love to come.
All right. Well, have a great day. And thank you again. And thank you all for tuning in with us. Again, reach out to gadstonstate.edu with any questions. And so on that, we want to make sure that you tune in tomorrow. We're going to be here with Ellen Hurst with Alabama Cares, and we have some great information for you tomorrow as well. So have a great rest of your day, and we will see you back here bright and early on Rise and Shine tomorrow morning. All right. Well, see you later.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
For over 60 years, pain relief products were developed by big pharma and companies that could cause harmful side effects. Now there is something new in a topical pain relief product. Thousands of people who experience pain daily are now enjoying a safe pain relief product. This big discovery is Sweet Relief. Sweet Relief is a 100% all-natural OTC product that allows you to experience with no drugs, no chemicals, no alcohols, no CBDs, just fruit moisturizing with a tropical scent. Thousands have bought and used Sweet Relief with great success. Sweet Relief specializes in relieving minor arthritis, muscle and joint pain in 1 to 2 minutes. That's 1 to 2 minutes, not days or weeks. Order today. Go to www.mysweetrelief.com. That is mysweetrelief.com.